So I've spent the past 5 years experimenting with every productivity and time management habit out there to try and save time in my business. And it turns out, if you're a business owner, most of them, like the Pomodoro timer, setting deadlines, or starting with small tasks first, are bloody useless. But the right habits can save you hours every week. So in this video, I'm going to show you the 5 simple habits that I personally use in my business that save me at least 20 hours a week, so that you can copy them in your business as well. Now to start, let me show you the first habit that'll save you from one of the biggest time wasters that every business owner faces, because every business owner I work with in the MOS has the same problem. And this used to happen to me all the time as well. I would start my day and go, right, what needs done? And I wouldn't know. So I would sit there trying to figure it out, but then something urgent would pop up and I'd go and deal with that for 20 minutes. Then I'd sit back down to figure out what to work on, and that loop would just repeat, and I'd end up wasting hours every day and never get anything important done. But as soon as I built this first habit, I knew exactly what to work on each day, so I was more focused, more productive, and wasted way less time. And that habit is planning out your entire quarter and even your year. Now, not just your goals, but the actual steps of those goals mapped to specific days. So on Monday the 14th, you're doing step 3 of Project X. On Tuesday the 15th, you're doing step 4. This way, instead of wondering what do I work on, you can just look at the plan and schedule your day around what matters. If you do not have this sort of quarterly and yearly plan for your business, you're missing out on so much clarity, efficiency, and time. Now, I do have a tool which I give to my clients in the MOS to help them plan this out. I'm going to leave a link in the description below for you to get it, and it'll save you so much time rather than you trying to build it out and figure out what sort of system to use for this. And at the end of this video, I will leave a link to a video which shows you how to use that tool to plan out your year. And that brings us to the second habit, which is the fastest way I know to get back 2 to 4 hours a day. And the best way to explain this is to imagine someone sat beside you all day, every day. Every 5 minutes, they'd tap you on the shoulder, start talking to you, and 30 minutes would pass before you even realized that you were talking to them. Then every so often, you'd go, fuck it, I'm going to talk to this person, and you'd end up wasting another 30 minutes. Now, how destructive would that person be to your productivity, your time, and therefore your business? You're getting nothing done. They're constantly distracting you, and if that person was real, you would make it clear to them, look, I need you to go to another room. Leave me alone, right? I've got stuff to do. Well, that person is your phone. It is always beside you. It is always interrupting you. You're always getting distracted by it, and it is ruining your focus, productivity, and time, and therefore potentially your business. And I know you've heard this 1,000 times. Ross, this is revolutionary stuff that you need to block your phone, okay? Put it in another room. But guess fucking what? You need to do it. And right now, I know you're probably thinking something like, I don't need to do that. It doesn't affect me too much. Well, guess fucking what? And I don't mean to be rude, but you're not special. What makes you think you're any different to any other business owner out there? What makes you think you're immune to this, that you don't need to do this? Like, go look at your screen time on your phone right now. Every hour on your screen time is a wasted hour. Look, I've worked with hundreds of 6 to 8 figure business owners. We're all the same. I'm not perfect. If I don't block this thing, where even is my phone? If I don't block this, right, I get distracted. I waste time. We all do. So what you need to do is open your phone, download an app called Opal. That's what I have on my phone. Get the $20 per month paid subscription and set it up to block every app during specified work blocks. I block mine from 5 a.m. to 1 p.m. and then 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. So right now it's 11 a.m. And if I go to load up Instagram, I don't know if you'll be able to see this, but Instagram is blocked. I cannot get onto Instagram until 1 p.m. until this block finishes, right? And the best thing about this is because I have the paid version, which is only $20 a month, so do get it. It means I can't unblock or unlock the blocks, and I can't delete the app. There is no way around it. And right now, you're going to have all these excuses in your head. Fuck them. That is your inner bitch trying to keep you at the level that you're at. Take control. Don't let a phone or your inner bitch control you. So just do this. You will save hours and hours and hours every single day. And I know I say hours pretty funnily with my Northern Irish accent. Better get used to it throughout this video. But that brings us to the third habit, which is going to solve one of the easiest to miss problems in business, that is killing your time. And the easiest way to explain this is I had a client in the MOS who had, after about 8 weeks, went from working 10-hour days to around 5-hour days whilst their business kept growing, and they were happy. That's what they wanted. But in the MOS, I get all my clients to track a ton of data. One metric is how much they work. And by week 10, I noticed that they're back up to about 7 hours a day. So I got on a call with him and I was like, why is this happening? Why are you working more? So I get him to break down his entire schedule, every single task he did over the past week or two, and there was a problem. He had delegated and eliminated a ton of tasks. He had streamlined everything with systems and the business was running really well. But he started to pick up a few small tasks every day, and that was the problem. Like, as a business owner, it's so easy to just go, fuck it, I'll just do this task. It's only going to take me 20 minutes. But those 20 minutes add up. 3 of them a day, and you've just added an hour of work that you, the business owner, should never be touching. So the habit that fixes this is literally taking 1 or 2 minutes each day to look at your tasks for that day and delegating anything which somebody else can do. And I get that, you know, it might only take you 20 minutes, but like I said, those 20 minutes add up, and that 20 minutes could also be spent on something much higher value. So by spending 2 minutes doing this, you can save easily 1 or 2 hours a day, if not more. And that brings us to the next habit, which won't only save you a ton of time, but will save you a ton of mental energy. Now, the way you need to think about this is, imagine you were playing football, okay? Not soccer, football, but every 5 minutes, you have to stop, get changed, and go play basketball. And then in 5 minutes, you go back to playing football. Well, you'd actually have to think about how to play the game, because you're going back and forth between 2 different sports with 2 completely different sets of rules. Like, what if you accidentally kick the basketball because you're playing football 2 minutes ago? Now, that's not a recipe for optimal performance compared to playing, you know, the entire game of football or the entire game of basketball. And you would never do it. Yet that is how most entrepreneurs work in business. 1 minute they're trying to plan out a marketing campaign, the next they're answering an email, then they're dealing with a client problem, then they're back to finishing that campaign. They're all over the place, and their day is full of context switching, which is absolutely terrible for productivity and performance. And it is even worse if your day is broken up with calls. Like, let's say you've got a call at 10 a.m. Well, then from 9 a.m, you're not really working. You're sort of twiddling your thumbs, waiting for the call, because you're so preoccupied with knowing that you have to stop what you're doing at 9:55 to get in that call that you can't really focus on anything that is worth doing, anything important. So you don't really do anything. Then at 11 a.m, after the call, you don't do much either, because, you know, it's lunch in an hour, so you're sort of focused on that as well. It is a recipe for disaster, but the habit that fixes this and removes all that context switching is to only do the important work in the morning. So all work which is needle moving and requires focus and is important is done before lunch. Okay, that way you can do it uninterrupted, without the worry about calls, without distractions, without anything. Then you save low focus work, emails and the likes of calls for after lunch if you're still doing that sort of stuff and you haven't delegated all of it. This way you can go all in on the work that matters without getting distracted, without wasting time, without context switching. And look, your business won't fall apart if you do this. Okay, I've had 8-figure business owners do this and it works wonders every single time. Now, obviously there's systems that you can build which make this so much easier. So if you want to systemize your business in 12 weeks, click the link in the description below to work with me. I'll help you stop being the bottleneck in your business so that you can work less and scale faster. And that brings us to the 5th habit, which is going to stop you wasting hours doing something every business owner thinks they need to do. So a few years back, when I was running my ghostwriting agency, I used to be working on a task and then someone on my team would ask me a question. So I'd stop what I was doing, help them out. And now depending on the problem, it would either take me, 20 minutes or 2 minutes to help them out. Then I would get back into the work I was doing. And then eventually, maybe it's in 5 minutes, maybe it's in 2 hours, I would get asked another question. I would help them out and that would just repeat. And I realized one day that I was wasting like 1 or 2 hours a day answering questions that my team should have been able to answer themselves, which is super low leverage, right? Because inevitably, if you get asked a question once, it's likely going to be asked again and you end up just repeating yourself. It's a pile of crap. And this is something most business owners get wrong. They think that answering their team's questions is part of the job. It's not. It's a symptom of broken systems. So the habit I built, which completely changed my business, was instead of just answering the questions, every time a question was asked, I would update the SOP for that task. That way the question was answered forever. I then directed my team to check the SOPs for any questions before coming to me. And after about a month of doing this for every question, I stopped getting asked questions in my business and I saved myself hours every single week, which I could then spend on the work that actually mattered for growing my business. And the only way I knew exactly what would grow my business and what work to work on was because I planned out my entire year for growth. So click this video on screen now and I'll show you exactly how to do that.